Welcome to Shorr Solutions, the podcast. I'm your host, Jay Shorr. I'm the CEO and founder of Shorr Solutions, a national and award-winning consulting firm assisting aesthetic and surgical practices with their operational, administrative, and financial success. I have an amazing team of practice management experts and clients across the U.S., and as an industry expert with firsthand experience owning a multi-million-dollar cosmetic dermatology and plastic surgery practice, listen in as I lend you my expertise and best tips to successfully manage and grow your aesthetic practice. I will also be bringing in guests along the way, so get ready to be equipped to operate your aesthetic practice strategically and profitably. Welcome to Shorr Solutions, the podcast. Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Shorr Solutions, the podcast, and I'm your host, Jay Shorr. Today, we're going to be speaking about a legal check. Is your aesthetic practice safe? And is it up to par with Osha standards? Osha? What's Osha? Osha is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration here in the U.S. And what does OSHA do? OSHA protects you from you in spite of you. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration here in the United States was designed to help protect people in the workplace, to make sure that we all have a very, very safe work environment. Who would ever want to go to work somewhere we knowingly know that it's an unsafe place to work? Well, I certainly wouldn't. So what is OSHA? Well, if you think Osha is a small town in Wisconsin, you're in trouble. All right. What's OSHA? Occupational Safety and Health Administration. What's its purpose? Once again, to protect you from you in spite of you. And why is it important to you as an employer? Well, as an employer, we want to make sure that we have the safest workplace around and available so that we can attract wonderful employees to work in a safe environment. Now, OSHA is very important to this guy because many years in my entire professional career, many and most of them were spent in safety. As a safety director, making sure that I provided everybody with a very, very safe workplace. I was a national safety services manager for a Fortune 100 company, very, very large company nationwide. And I helped people to ensure that there were no accidents that could possibly happen in the workplace, and we wanted to prevent that from happening. So in the workplace where we have Occupational Safety and Health Administration, then we have standards. A, bloodborne pathogens. B, hazard communication standards. And C, ionizing radiation. So what is that? Well, bloodborne pathogens, very simple, are HIV, hepatitis, anything that can be transmitted through blood. All right. And we work, especially in medicine, where blood is ever present. So we have to be very careful about prevention methods in order to prevent our employees from coming in contact blood to open sores and wounds, needle sticks, and things like that. So we need to protect our people with personal protective equipment, PPE. PPE just didn't come to light during COVID. We've had masks and we've had gloves and barrier gowns, everything way before COVID. Hazard communication standards has come. What is that? That's chemical related, so that we have to make sure that each and every chemical that we work with in the workplace, that our employees, according to Title 29 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Section 1910, is that the employees have a right to know. And what do they have a right to know? They have a right to know of every chemical in the workplace. Now, look, this bottle is labeled, and if this was in your workplace, you would know that this is a bottle of vitamin water. So every material that we work with has to have a safety data sheet to allow us to know the health, flammability, and reactivity. And what ends up happening is if you come in contact with it, whether you come in contact with it with your skin, whether you come in contact with it through inhalation, it's very important that you know that. And anytime, if you were to take this bottle, let's say it was alcohol, and it was labeled alcohol, if it's in its mother container, its standard container, it does not have to be relabeled. But the moment we take it from here, and we all do this, and pour it into another container, we have to relabel the secondary container, so that our employees and everybody there has a right to know what's in that material. And ionizing radiation, any of us that deal with lasers, ionizing radiation. Now, there used to be something called material safety data sheets, MSDS. Now, many of you have heard that years and years ago, but it changed its name. It's now safety data sheets. So it took out the M. And years ago, it used to be in binders. So when you ordered something, you would get a document and it talked about the health hazards, the flammability. All right. Is it a bomb? Does it explode? Is it corrosive? Is it flammable? Is it combustible? All of those things. And those diamonds that you see in this picture right now, they call them placards because it gives us an indication because the picture tells 1,000 words. So years ago, they used to provide these sheets with all this information. Now, most of it is electronic. So the material safety data sheets that now became safety data sheets are all online. And if you want to have them for safety inspections, it's very important because if any of your staff or you come in contact with these and need to be rushed to the emergency ward, it is very important that the emergency room knows what chemical or what material you may have ingested, inhaled, or touched. This way, they'll know what antidote to use to help you. So the material safety data sheets or safety data sheets have identification, hazard identification, what the materials are made of, the ingredients, what are the first aid measures, what are the firefighting measures, accidental release measures, how do you handle and store it, and what are the exposure controls. Physical and chemical properties, stability and reactivity, any toxicological information, ecological information, which isn't mandatory, how you dispose of it, which isn't mandatory, how you transport it, which isn't mandatory. Are there any regulations and any other information? It's great because in the unfortunate event that you need to, it's available for you. Yes, we're going to take a quick break and a slight intermission. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our Conversion Cascade online course. With this self-guided and powerful course, you and your team will be able to master acquiring and retaining more patients. As a step-by-step sales funnel training, this course is designed to help you and your team attract more patients, convert calls to consults, convert consults to treatments and procedures, and keep patients coming back for more. Not only will our Conversion Cascade online course help to strengthen and develop your team's phone sales and customer service skills, it will also serve as a valuable onboarding training tool for each and every new team member. Plus, in the course, you'll receive downloadable marketing checklists, phone scripts, conversion tracking tools, and more. So why not sign up for the course today? It only takes less than 4 hours to complete, and you can finish at your own pace, and you'll have lifetime access. And as a special thank you for being our podcast listener, we're giving you 20% off. Just enter the discount code PODCAST to start saving today. Click the link in our show notes to sign up for the Conversion Cascade online course. Acquire and retain more patients right now. Osha, let's talk about means of egress. Everybody knows what lit exit signs mean. So Part 1910 of Title 29, Subpart E talks about means of egress or exit routes, means how do I get out of here? Now, everybody knows what a means of egress Chart looks like, go into a hotel, close the door, and it's one of these, you are here. Every time you get on an airplane, you will see the flight attendant do this, where the lights are. Red lights lead to green lights. Pay attention, folks. It's very important. I want to know where the green lights are, not where the red lights are. All right. So you want to know where an exit sign is. More importantly, I also want to know where an exit isn't, so that I don't open up the wrong door in the event that I need safe and accessible exits in case of a fire or another emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, do not take a fire alarm cavalier. It's very important. When I hear a fire alarm that goes off, I see people sit. Oh, it's only a false alarm. I want to make sure, because I'm the first one out or helping direct people out. Because in the event that it is real, when the massive exodus comes, it may be too late to get everybody out of the building. So what do you look for? In your office, you may see exit signs with arrows. That means that is not the physical exit. It means that is the direction towards the exit. And then at the exit, single side, both sides, depending upon whether or not it's a hallway, it will show that is where the physical exit is. Now, it's battery powered or wired to electric. It should be wired to electric, personally, my opinion, just instead of being battery. It should be battery backup, because if it's strictly battery, if the battery dies, you don't know it, the light just doesn't come on. Or if it's hot wired to the electricity, the first thing that you kill in the event of a fire is the electricity. And as soon as the electricity is cut, the contacts to that close and the battery comes on and the exit site will light. If you ever want to test it, go to the exit sign. There should be a red button. Take a broom handle, push the red button, and the light will come on. If it doesn't, your battery is dead. People take it very lightly. I take it very seriously. Not only am I an ex-safety guy, but I'm very protective of my wife, my family, and everybody else, even you. I want to protect you from you in the event of you and in spite of you. Electrical safety. These standards address electrical safety requirements to safeguard employees. Does any of these two photos look familiar to you? For those of you who can't see it, it is a bunch of wires on a floor or a power strip, and it's got hundreds, not hundreds literally, but a half a dozen wires plugged into a power strip outlet. Just because it has 6 outlets doesn't mean you have to use all 6 outlets. And not only that, there is a multi-outlet plugged into the power strip, so they're plugging in 3 or 4 more. Don't let that be you. OSHA posters, all right? That is governed under Title 29 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Section 19.03.2. And every workplace has to display an OSHA poster or the state plan equivalent. The poster explains the worker's rights to a safe workplace environment. Let me give you, you can combine these into workers' compensation posters, minimum wage posters. Something looks like this. And what is the purpose of it? It is so that the employees in the office know what their rights are in the event. Where do you go for the workplace? Where do you go to the doctor? Where do you go to the ER? What is the minimum wage? How many days have we had without a workplace accident, if that's one that you want on there? Adult choking and CPR, the little mini guides. It's a safe workplace. Now we talk about personal protective equipment, PPE. Remember when I said to you that PPE is not something new? These pictures, they look familiar. Of course they look familiar. They're all from COVID. But we've been using biohazard bags to get rid of chemical spills, gloves, masks, barrier gowns. We've been using PPE for years. It just got accentuated during COVID. So reporting occupational illnesses and injuries is something that is federal. Medical and dental offices are currently exempt from maintaining an official log of reportable injuries under the Form 300 under the standards, although they may be required to maintain records in some state plans. I'm not going to get into it. It used to be a requirement. The OSHA 300 log is nothing more than a document that tells you the employee's name and how long they were out and what happened, how was the accident, how did it happen. This way, everybody has that work to know and that right to know. Determine the establishment medications, identify required recordings, what has to be reported, what has to be recorded, determine work readiness, and complete your OSHA forms as required when you have an accidental illness or injury. Folks, please don't take OSHA lightly. Yes, there is an expense to maintaining a safe workplace. There's more of an expense not to. What is the number one expense not to? And don't tell me money and dollars. Tell me conscience. Tell me that you feel terrible because your employee got hurt or injured or ill. That's the answer I want to hear. Secondly, it puts more stress on individual employees having to do more with less resources because somebody may be out. And it is very demoralizing on the additional people in the workplace because they also don't want to see people being hurt. So be very prudent, be very safe conscious. I promise you, it is the right thing to do. Here we go. Another episode of Shorr Solutions, the podcast in the record books. I'm your host, Jay Shorr. Thank you for listening. Good luck. God bless. So that wraps up today's episode of Shorr Solutions, the podcast. If we mentioned any website links, you can find them in our show notes. To work directly with me and our award-winning team of consultants to increase efficiency, increase revenue, and decrease costs in your aesthetic practice, schedule a free consult with us today. We will help you establish and refine your aesthetic practice's protocols for maximum efficiency and productivity, decrease your expenses, and increase your profitability with an expert financial analysis of your business, attract more patients, convert calls to consults, convert consults to treatments, and keep patients coming back for more with our sales training, coaching, and complimentary access to our Conversion Cascade online course. Recruit, hire, and train new team members and manage any staff turnover with our human resource expertise, plus more. Head over to our show notes and click on the link to schedule a free 30-minute consult with us today. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to spread the word and share this episode with your friends, colleagues, and the rest of your team. Remember to also follow us on social media at Shorr Solutions and sign up for our e-newsletter. You'll learn about our latest tips, blog posts, services, videos, webinars, and more. Links to our social media channels and to sign up for our e-newsletter are in our show notes. So see you next time, and remember to leave us a review and subscribe for more valuable content.